Hello everyone, welcome to our Creo Learning Session number 19 on assembly, and I'm Trisha from Product Labs. In this session, we'll be learning the assembly topics such as command placement in assembly, exploded view of an assembly, full product assembly. Stay tuned to explore more on assembly processes in Creo 3.0.
This is the assembly we'll be creating. Paths used in this assembly are already created and saved in working directory. First, let us open a new Creo session and then change the working directory to the folder where all the paths are saved. Now, create a new assembly file by clicking on the button labeled as New in the top menu bar. Assign it a name of your choice. Uncheck Use Default Template. After that, click on OK button. A pop-up window appears. Here we need to select the metric unit template for the assembly. We'll go with MMNS_ASM_design template. Now click on the button labeled as Assemble in the top menu bar. A new window opens up. This window is showing the paths saved in the working directory, and these paths are to be used for assembly. We'll open up base part first and would start assembly with this part. Now, base part opens up in the main window. Together with this, another small window pops up which also contains base part. Also, there are 3 arrow handles and 3 arrows attached with the base part. Arrow handles are used to rotate the part about all 3 axes. And arrows are used to translate the part in all 3 directions. Using this functionality, it becomes very easy to assemble the components. Now, we have to define the position of this part first. If we click here, we can see various options of fixing the position of base part. Among all these options, it's preferred to use default option to position the very first component of the assembly. Once we select the default option, part gets fully constrained automatically. Now, click on OK button. Let us switch off the planes now. Next, we have to assemble the second part. Before we start assembling the second part, we have to refer to Final Assembly to see the mating constraints. That would help us to define the mating constraints of all the parts. And select the second part for assembly. Now, align the 2 protruded features of second part with the mating features in the base part. It can be done by using arrows. Now, the protruded features are almost aligned, so both the parts can be assembled easily. So, let us click on the placement option in the top left corner. In the placement window, there are 2 fields. In the top field, we have to select component item, which is the second part. And the field below is for assembly component, which is the base part. Now, we have selected the mating surfaces of both the parts, but we still need to define constraint type. In the constraint type window, there are multiple options to choose from. Based on the assembly requirement, we can choose the constraint. In this example, we have to choose coincident as both the surfaces are coincident to each other. To define next constraint, click on the option New Constraint in the Placement window. Now, select the next mating surface in the component and in the assembly part. Constraint type will again be coincident. One constraint is yet to be defined as part is still partially constrained. So, once again click on New Constraint option. Now select the mating surface on the component item and then select the mating surface on the assembly item. By default, it is taking coincident as assembly constraint. Also, we can notice that component is fully constrained now. But as per final assembly requirement, this path surface needs little offset. We can see this offset in the bottom left picture showing the final assembly condition. We'll be providing the offset of 5 mm by choosing the constraint type distance. Now click on OK button to proceed. So, we have assembled 2 parts by now. One more part has to be assembled to complete this. Once again, we'll click on the button labeled as Assembly and choose the third part to be opened. This part has a hole which is supposed to mate with the hole in assembly item. We can do that by coinciding both the axis or circular surfaces of the holes. First, we'll do it by surface mating. To do this, select both the surfaces one after another. Creo will automatically take appropriate constraint, which we can verify in Placement window. Next, we'll do this mating by using axis, so we'll delete the constraint now. For deletion, right-click on the constraint type in Placement window and choose the option Delete in pop-up menu. Since there is no constraint between component item and assembly item, so we can pull the component item away. Next, switch on the axis display. Now, select the axis of both the parts one after another. And change the constraint type to coincident. So, this was axis-to-axis mating. Now, we'll delete this constraint and switch back to surface-to-surface mating constraint. Add second constraint by clicking on New Constraint option. Now, mate other surface as shown here. Ensure that the constraint type is coincident. Since this is mating of two holes which allows the part to rotate with respect to each other unless their angular position is fixed. Therefore, we have yet to define the orientation of component item. So, let us select a surface in component item and another in assembly item and choose the constraint type as angle offset. Now, we can rotate the component item axially and see the change in position as angle changes. We can fix the angular position by providing the angle value in the placement window. Next, click on OK button to finish the assembly. Press Ctrl+D to fit the model in the screen.
Welcome back, guys. Let us do an exciting practice exercise and create the object displayed on my left side. So let's begin.
In this assembly, we have three unique parts. First part is 011, which is the main part for assembly. Second part is 012, which is used at two different places. And the third part is 013, which is again used at two places. So, this way we have three unique parts, which are 011, 012 and 013, but total number of parts in the assembly are 5. Now, close this window and open a new assembly. But before opening new assembly file, perform erase not display to erase all the parts from memory. Now set the working directory. Working directory should be the one where all the parts required for assembly are saved. Now we can create new assembly file. Give a name to assembly file and uncheck default template. Select metric template from the pop-up window. Let us turn on the datum display first before we start assembling the parts. Now click on the button labeled as Assembly and open the first part for assembly. Now, before we assemble next component of the assembly, let us look at the assembly first to see as how all the components are assembled. Now click on OK button to proceed further. Next, we'll turn off the datums and open the next part for assembly by clicking on the button labeled as Assembly in the top menu bar. First assembly constraint for this part would be surface to surface offset. So, let us select the surface of purple part first, which is component item, and then select the mating surface in assembly item. Now define the mate type, which has to be distance. It can be done from placement window. For better visibility of offset, we may change the view orientation to right. Now, in this view, we can see the offset of purple part clearly. Next, change the offset distance to 20 mm as per requirement. Now, click on the New Constraint option to add another constraint. From the picture at the bottom left corner, we can see that the plane running through the center of top hole in purple part must be coincident with the plane running through the center of slot in assembly component. So press Ctrl plus F in your keyboard to open the Find window. In the pop-up window, define the item we are looking for and also define the part to be looked at. Now click on Find button. We get the list of all three datums. We need to select the one which passes through the center of the slot. Now close the window and do the same for component item which is purple part. Select the appropriate datum from the list. Now give mating constraint as coincident. This was plane-to-plane mating and it's very useful when surface is not available at mating point. As we can see that component item is not yet fully constrained, so we have yet to define one more constraint. So we'll add a new constraint now. In the new constraint, the bottom surface of L-shaped feature has to mate with the surface in assembly component. Refer assembly picture at the bottom left corner. Choose constraint type as coincident. Now component is fully constrained, so click on OK button to close this. Next, we have to assemble same part once again at the other end. So let us open it once again. For this part, mating conditions will remain same as what we used just now. First condition is surface to surface offset. Offset distance is 20 mm. Second is surface to surface coincident. And third condition is plane to plane coincident. So for that, we'll find the planes once again and mate them with the mate type as coincident. Now the component is fully constrained. Click on OK button to proceed further. Now we'll be assembling third component. So let us open that using assembly button on the top. Before we define assembly constraint, let us look at the final assembly condition in the bottom left picture. We can clearly understand that cylindrical shape of the new part would go inside the hole of assembly. That means constraint type must be coincident. Now, for the next constraint, this surface must be offset with this surface. So change the constraint type from coincident to distance and provide offset distance. Now the component is fully constrained. Next, click on OK to proceed further. The last component to be assembled in this assembly in the same manner as part 013. So assembly constraints would remain same. Since part and constraints are same, we can use repeat option to perform assembly. To do that, select the part to be repeated and right-click. Choose the option Repeat from pop-up menu. In the pop-up window, we can see existing constraints of this part. We select these two constraints and then click on the Add button at the bottom of this window. Now we have to select the constraint entities one by one for both the constraints. First constraint type is coincident, so we'll select the corresponding meeting surface for this in another purple part. For the second entity, which is again a surface and constraint type is distance, we'll select the corresponding surface in purple part. Now we can see that the part name appears in the right side pop-up window. Now click on OK to complete this assembly. So with this, we have completed the assembly tutorial in Creo. Thank you.
If you have any questions, you can find us on social media. Thanks for tuning in and have a great day.